was 8 when the first kid died. Patient 0, Abigail Lilly, screaming at me for touching her Barbie doll, dropped dead in front of us. Ben Carson was next, collapsing in math class. Then Jasper Michaels, his eyes rolling back during assembly. I was staring right at him, waiting for the teachers to notice him lip-syncing the Pledge of Allegiance. But then he was dead too. Kids started dropping in the hallways, on their desks, even in the street. It wasn't just my town. Child deaths skyrocketed across the U.S. The CDC insisted that it wasn't a virus or outbreak. It wasn't contagious. It was a pandemic that didn't make sense. By then, 50% of my town's children were gone. There weren't enough body bags, and families were too scared to go near the bodies. Scientists swore it wasn't a virus, though the world screamed otherwise. All I knew was school was canceled indefinitely, and people feared their children. With most of the kids on my street dead, I played alone until people started throwing rocks at me, calling me an omen. So I stayed inside. By my 10th birthday, half the world's children were gone, and survivors like me were treated like animals. It became illegal to house anyone under 18. My town was lenient, though. By 16, only 3 of us were left. Me, Kiara, and Kenji. Since school had been abandoned when we were little kids, we scavenged houses for food. When Kiara's nose started bleeding, I knew it was happening. I held her when she died, face pressed against my shoulder. She didn't scream or cry, just like the others. Kenji was next. His eyes rolled back like patient zero's. Fuck, he sputtered, and I stumbled back like he was contagious. Wait, Nate, am I going to die? It's just a nosebleed, I said, and then choked on my words when his body went limp, crumpling to the ground. Like Kiara, I held him in my arms, and the words that had been violently choking me since I was a little kid spluttered from my mouth. I need to tell you something. Kenji's lips formed a small smile, his eyes flickering. Oh yeah, what's that? Gently laying him down, I ran home, kicking through flyers promising a new tomorrow for survivors at a newly opened testing facility. Kenji was an escapee. It wasn't a facility, it was a prison. Mom, I screamed, throwing myself down the basement steps. She hadn't moved since I was 7, after my baby brother and sister died, but her hands had moved, and were still moving. Bloodied scribbles covered the walls, the latest ones still dripping in a language I didn't know or understand. Kenji, Kiara, and no doubt the group of kids locked up in the testing facility. Mom, I knelt beside her, snatching ancient monograms from her skeletal fingers. Stop, I whispered. My gaze trailed to the wall. Sam and Poppy have enough friends to play with now.